guys, and welcome back to my channel. So here is my cooked beef. Here is my edder cooking on the cooker, and over here I have my already cooked chicken. I'm just warming it up, guys. It will be used to make pepper chicken and beef. So guys, let me just quickly run through my ingredients. Here is my shrimps, and over here I have my jumbo prawns for the soup and the jollof rice. Here I have my red sniper fish and tilapia fish. It's for the soup. Here is my blended pepper mix for my jollof rice, and I have my nice chopped onion. Here is the pepper mixed for the pepperish chicken and beef. Here periwinkle. Over here I have the water snail and the snail for the soup. I'm making fisherman soup, and here's my blended oziza and my roughly blended pepper mix for my spicy rice. Tomato paste, here's the oziza seed, and there I just have a lemon. So I'm just taking off the chicken from the cooker, and beginning with my pepper mix for the chicken and beef. So in there I have my oil heated up, and I added some onion and ginger with tomato and garlic paste. So I allowed that to fry for some minutes, and I'm adding my thyme and my curry, so it will just release its flavor into the oil as it fries together. And after about 1 minute, I allow the juice to marinate, and I added my rosemary. Yeah, that was the rosemary I was trying to show you guys. So I added my rosemary and stirred and allowed it to fry for another 1 minute. Guys, try this. Fry your dried ingredients like your curry and thyme with your onion, and see the juice release itself into the oil. So I've added my pepper, my roughly blended pepper. Yeah, and I'm adding my seasoning. Yeah, that's chicken seasoning I'm adding there. And I added some salt, and I gave this a good mix and allowed it to fry. Yes guys, I allowed it to fry. So but before that, I'm adding a little bit of the chicken broth. Yeah, a little bit of the chicken broth to add a little more spice and flavor to the sauce. So guys, I'm not covering this because I want it to fry, so I'm not covering it. So while that is frying nicely, I'm kicking off also with my jollof rice. So I have my oil and onion in the pot now, and I just added some ginger and garlic paste. Guys, I love ginger and garlic paste in everything. Okay, let me just say everything, but 98% of the things I make in my kitchen, I use ginger and garlic paste. So why I allowed that to fry for some minutes, so the onion releases its flavor and becomes a little bit translucent, I'm adding my tomato paste. So that has been frying for some minutes. Yeah, I'm trying to show you guys how it looks. It's properly fried, so the sweetness of the tomato paste has left it at this point, and I'm adding my curry and thyme again, so everything just fries together and releases its flavors and marries each other inside the pot. It just releases its deliciousness. I don't know guys, but for some reasons this is the best trick. So I allowed it to fry for some more couple of minutes, and this is it guys. Yeah, this is it. It's nicely fried. And guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe to my channel. So over here I'm about to introducing my pepper mix. Yeah, I have tatashi, shombo, and atarodo pepper with, I think, just 3 pieces of tomato or 4 pieces of tomato. Guys, if possible, you just take out tomato from your pepper mix. It takes your jollof rice to another level. That's why it's looking so red. But if you don't like it hot, then I would advise you use more of tomato. But for that smoky jollof rice, guys, use more of your pepper base. So I've added the pepper, and this is it cooking. And guys, because of kitchen disaster, please try and fry on a very low heat so it doesn't splash into your eyes. And I've added my seasoning cube. And be careful at this point, guys. Please be very careful at this point. Remember, your chicken broth has a lot of spice inside, like it has a lot of it has Maggi and salt already in it, so you don't add too much of salt and Maggi to your pepper base at this moment, because I would later be introducing the broth into the pepper mix. So over here my pepper mix is ready and properly fried. And guys, remember, I was stirring intermittently. Yeah, I was stirring occasionally so it doesn't get burnt. So I've added my chicken and my beef, and guys, look at that beauty. Just look at that beauty. And I took out some of the pepper because I realized, no, I intentionally actually did it. I intentionally fried more because I reserved some of the pepper in my freezer. Maybe I want to make bole, or I want to make fried yam and have it with pepper sauce. I'll just get it out from the freezer and, relieve myself of that stress at the moment. So that's the pepper sitting beside the wok. And I added spring onion just for garnishing and that extra flavor. Yeah, so my chicken and pepper mix at that point was ready, and I took it off the cooker. So here the pepper mix for the base for the jollof rice is fried. And I said fried, like it's almost there, it's almost ready. So I added my chicken broth. Now this is the reason why I didn't add salt initially. So I added my chicken broth. Can you see the splash, guys? That is it. That is it. So I had to lower my cooker some more and allowed it to fry a little bit longer. So I'm starting off with my soup. Like I said, I'm making fisherman soup. So I've added my fish and my snail. Yeah, you'll be wondering why I'm cooking my snail with my fish. Fish cooks faster than snail, yes, but you'll see how I would completely cook my snail as we move further. So I've added salt, seasoning cube, and yellow blended pepper. Yeah, the stuff in that plate I added earlier was yellow blended pepper. I love the flavor it gives to my fisherman soup. And I'm adding my sea snail. Yeah, water snail. The white people call it clams. So I've added it and I'll allow that to cook. Guys, I missed the clip on how I added my rice to the mix, but it was fried to my taste. Like the pepper base was fried to my taste, and I added my rice. I didn't know I wasn't recording at that point, so guys, I'm very sorry. So I added the rice and I took a little bit of the sauce out because I wanted to be sure of the proportion, like between the rice and the base. I didn't want the pepper base to be more than the rice. So instead of adding salt, guys, I'm using Benny chicken seasoning. Yeah, so that's what I added, and I added a little bit of water. So here I'm just adding more of my sauce that I took out earlier because I wasn't really satisfied with the color. So I eventually used all of it, though. I eventually used all of the pepper base, yeah, and all of the Benny. So instead of salt, I replaced it with Benny, and I'm just stirring and mixing. Guys, mix properly so the base doesn't settle at the bottom. You don't want that to be the case with your rice. So I tested it and realized that I needed just little salt. Guys, that is little salt. Yeah, so I just added little salt to balance up the taste. Yeah, to balance up the taste. So I'm stirring more, and if you realize, I was going deep to make sure none of my base settled at the bottom. So at this point, yeah, the tastes, I was satisfied with the taste of my jollof mix. So I was about covering the pot and I noticed the splash, so I had to wash the lid. Then I used foil. Guys, one of the secrets to smoky jollof rice and a good jollof rice is not cooking with high heat. So I was actually steaming that rice, not cooking it, because I used the lowest of heat to make that rice, and the reason why it took hours actually to get ready. So you need to sacrifice something to get the best result. So that's me sacrificing my time to get the best of my result. So back to the soup. I'm taking out my fish and my water snail and the proper snail, yeah, the other snail. So I introduced the pot back to the cooker, and I'm adding palm oil to the pot. Yeah, there's the palm oil that I would use to make the soup. So at this point the quantity was okay for me. Guys, we eyeball in Nigeria, now the average Nigeria home, we eyeball. So the pepper mix I made earlier, that's what I'll be frying and using to make this soup. The tomato, like I said, I used 3 tomato over a basket of tatashe and half basket of shombo. Yeah, so the tomato is as good as not present in that mix at all. So I wasn't bothered. I knew it was not present at all. So I'm frying the pepper mix. So before I allow this to fry long, I'm introducing back the snail. Yeah, I'm reintroducing the snail into the pepper mix. So I would want this sauce to fry alongside the snail. A little it adds a little bit of flavor to the snail. So I'll allow that to fry for some minutes, guys. And here it is, it has fried. You can see the oil floating. Yeah, that's the oil flow. That's to tell you that your pepper mix is your pepper is properly fried. And guys, I just launched my pots. Yeah, if you've been following me, you'd know when I unboxed this pot. So this is my first time of using it, and I enjoyed it, guys. I enjoyed it. So I just added the stock from the fish that we cooked earlier, and I allowed this to cook for another 5 to 8 minutes. Yeah, I think around 8 minutes. I allowed it to cook, and guys, at this point my snail is properly cooked. So I just added the rest of the stock and more water. Yeah, that's my blender I used to draw water from the sink. Yeah, so I just added a little bit of bouillon cube. Yeah, that seasoning cube, salt, and here's me adding crayfish, a lot of crayfish. And I started adding a little bit of my oziza. I added some of it, not all of it at this point. I added some of it, and I had to taste it. This oziza seed, for some reason, is not as strong as the other oziza seed I used in my last video. So I ended up using all of the oziza seed for this soup. And here is me just stirring it. And before I allow this to cook, I would at this point add my ede. This is a soup thickener, guys. If you don't know what ede is a soup thickener. Yes, it is a soup thickener. So you add bit by bit, you stir, and you just eyeball to see if that will be enough for your soup. And mind you, this season what we have now is new ede. So you'll be wondering, am I not using too much? New ede is not as, it doesn't make your food, it's not as potent. Yeah, it's not as potent as old ede. So I just added some of the ede. It was blended actually, and allowed it to cook until all of the ede was dissolved. So this is me bringing back the water snail. Yeah, bringing back the water snail and my shrimps, because the soup is as good as ready at this point. So I added my shrimp, and that's me adding some of my jumbo prawns. I realized that it was too much for the soup, so I didn't use all of it. And I'm bringing back my fish. Yeah, guys, there's no meat. This fisherman soup, purely seafood. It's a seafood soup. Fisherman soup is everything seafood. So instead of me using what's it called, beef, I used snail, and that's my periwinkle. And I added a little bit of crayfish again. There's this 9 minute crayfish to your soup. It gives this extra kick, this extra flavor to your soup, guys. Always do that. And I allow this to cook for a little bit, so the soup goes into every other thing that wasn't earlier in the pot. So this is cooking for like 3 minutes. So it has been cooking for 3 minutes, and I introduced my oziza. Yeah, oziza, that's the best vegetable to use for your native soup. Yeah, just oziza. Some people don't even add any leaf at all, but oziza gives it this extra flavor. You know, earlier we used oziza seed, so the best vegetable to use is oziza leaf. And I allowed that to cook for about 2 minutes. Yeah, I allowed it to not like cook on high heat. I reduced the heat to the minimum at that point, and I was allowing that to cook for about 1 minute 30 seconds. So I came back to my jollof rice. Yeah, you see, guys, it has absorbed all of the liquid. Yeah, at this point it has absorbed all of the liquid, and I won't be adding extra liquid to it, because like I said, I'm using my heat to cook that rice. So I covered it and allowed it to continue cooking. So I'm starting off with my pepper, my spicy rice. So that's my beef broth. Yeah, my beef stock. I sieved it and reintroduced it to the cooker, and I added Cameroon pepper, bouillon cube, and I'll be adding a little bit of salt. And the Cameroon pepper is for the flavor and the heat. Like I said, it's spicy rice. And shout out to CCME. I got this inspo from her. Yeah, I got this inspo from her. That was my sister coming to check up on me. Yeah, and she realized I made soup. She didn't know I was making soup, so she came and saw what I was making, which was her favorite too. We all grew up in Bayelsa, so she enjoys seafood products or seafood food or seafood recipes actually. What am I at this point? I'm rambling, guys. So I allowed all of those things to cook till it got to a boiling point. Then I'm bringing back my rice, guys. I'm using basmati rice for all of these recipes. Yeah, all the rice based recipe I used basmati rice for them. So I had to stir and allowed it to cook. So I allowed it to cook. Guys, please subscribe to my channel. So I had a chicken that I earlier marinated. Yeah, I marinated that chicken early in the morning when I woke up, and it has been in the fridge for at least 5 hours. Yeah, it has been marinating for the past 5 hours. And guys, this is me just putting it in my baking tray, and I used a bunch of spice, just whatever spice that you feel you need for your chicken, you just use it. But I used a bunch of spice, including olive oil. Yeah, so that's me introducing my yaji. Yeah, before putting it in the oven, I just like for that extra heat, for that heat. I love pepper, guys. I love pepper. I love spicy food. So I'm adding yaji. Yeah, yaji, that's pepper soup spice. And I had that go into the oven. So I came back to my rice, not the jollof rice, the spicy rice. And it has boiled to a point that I was comfortable with. So now I would be using heat. Yeah, I'll be using heat to cook the rest of the rice. Yeah, to get it to the perfect point. So I had to now cover it up with a foil, and I reduced the heat again to the minimum. To the minimum. And here is the jollof rice, guys. Can you notice something? It has doubled in size. Yes. That's to tell you that it is cooking. That is a proof that it is cooking. See that color, guys? Kai Chimo, just look at that color, guys. And you don't want to, you can't even imagine the taste. And guys, behind the scene, I had to prepare my salad because my visitors were almost on their way and I was running out of time. Guys, I had to prepare my salad. And here's the chicken out of the oven. I'm trying to, turn it around so the other part of the chicken can properly cook. And I'm also adding my yaji again. So the both side, has that taste. One shouldn't be tasting different from the other. So it went back to the oven. And here, guys, my spicy rice is ready. Like, it's ready. So I just have to prepare the other parts of the base for this rice to be completely cooked. Yes, for this rice to be completely cooked. So I just wanted to give it a little more time. And I went back to my jollof rice. Guys, just see. Legodin. 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 You see how that rice came out? See how it came out. It's not mushy. See how it came out. So I just seasoned my shrimps, yes, with seasoning, yeah, seasoning cube, sorry, with seasoning cube, and I added it to the rice. The rice is almost ready. It is 95% ready. So this is the best time to cook my shrimps because shrimps, it doesn't need so much time to cook, just little heat and it's cooked. And I'm covering that up for it to cook. So I bleached my palm oil earlier. I bleached some palm oil rather earlier. And this is me introducing my palm oil to my pot and allowed that to heat up a little. So the beef I prepared earlier, I took part of it out and chopped it into little bites. Yeah, I chopped it into. This beef is so soft and tasty, guys. Well spiced, well seasoned. At this junction, I was just picking from it, and I noticed if I continue there won't be any beef again left. So I fried this for some minutes, and yeah, I fried it for about 2 minutes and until I achieved the color I was looking for. Yeah, so this was the result I was looking out for. And guys, I took it out and started frying my onion And I added, you know now, you know already, you know what I added, ginger and garlic paste. This is me adding my ginger and garlic paste. Yes, it's an addiction, I agree, it is an addiction, but a healthy one. It is an healthy addiction. So I fried out a little for some minutes until the onion became a little bit translucent, and this is me adding the roughly chopped pepper mix. This doesn't have tomato, nothing, just pepper. And that's me adding a little bit of salt and seasoning cube. Yeah. So I allowed that to fry. Guys, I allowed it to fry on medium to low heat. Yes. I allowed it to fry until the oil started floating on it. And guess what? Yes, that is it. That is it, guys. I added that pepper mix to the rice and I added the beef. Oh, Sisi Emi, Chuku Goziegi. This rice was that bomb. Though she used goat's meat for hers, but I used beef for mine. This rice was the bomb. Everybody that ate it was wondering, what kind of, it looks like basmati rice, the foreign one. But guys, the taste, oh my goodness. And I added spring onion for that extra flavor, and color and beauty and whatever. That rice was the bomb. And we came back to this chiamo. Chiamo again in Afio. Oh, everybody that ate this rice, they confessed to the goodness of God. Even me, I confessed to the goodness of God. You see, that little rice has doubled in size, and our grilled chicken ready. At this point, everything ready, and I had some visitors. These children came down, and the only way for me to get them back upstairs was to bribe them with some ice cream. And I had some cone and ice cream in the fridge, so I just made this for them. They had fun and they went back upstairs. And guys, I've dished everything because my visitors at this point, they were in the seat on the dining table, at the dining table, waiting for their meal. And this was the magic I created. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you. Stay blessed. Bye.